Even the ham.
Make you feel better. Have another drink and you feel alright. If you feel down and you're under the weather, have another drink and you feel alright.
Well, listen, nobody's calling with questions for Jimmy, but you can. The number is 877-602-9696. Jimmy Santangelo, he knows all about wine and spirits and restaurants and what kind of wine to drink for Easter and all of that stuff.
We got
Don't you?
we got a few questions via text here.
Okay.
All right.
Tasha from Plain City, please ask Jimmy, if I wanted to start collecting wine, how do you know which wines are equitable?
What
So
does that mean?
maybe return on your investment, or that will increase with value as they age. There are a couple of sources that you can refer to online of, take a look at your points, anything at a high point. But this is what you need, and this is what I want to get out, is if you're going to purchase wine and you want to lay them down to age, put the wine bottle on its side, make sure the wine bottle, it's going to need to have a cork. You want a corked wine, and you want to keep that wine in contact with the cork so that cork swells and keeps that wine aging for a very long time. If you have bottles out there that you're aging that you keep straight up, well, now you have a head gap, the cork's going to dry, and more air is going to flow in there. It's not going to be like it's breezy, but enough that that wine will age much sooner, degrade, and things of that nature.
And when you have it, so it's pointing down on its side, or even pointing down a bit.
Yeah.
Then aren't you supposed to rotate the bottle?
That's right. So every time you do the, change the clock, or the different seasons, daylight savings time, or whatever, or just put it on a calendar about quarterly or twice a year. And we do see a lot of wine trays that are becoming less vertical, and that's easy when you pull the tray out. This is like in a Yurkov or refrigerator or something. What I like to do is just angle it up just a little bit, because gravity's strong. Gravity will pull on that wine through the cork. But in terms of equitable, look at Bordeaux futures. You could do Bordeaux's, a lot of California high-end wines, things like that. But it sounds like a great hobby that you have.
Do people get into that as kind of a hobby and maybe make a little money? Just to, they want to.
They do, and we have. And forgive me, I don't remember the gentleman's name. I just reached out to him. We have an appointment next week. There's a brand new facility up in Park City for wine storage. It's,
really?
Yeah. I want to go up there and do a little interview with them and do a little walkthrough with them and check out the space. But we do have a lot of people that live here from, Draper, Lehigh, all the way up, of course, to Deer Valley, Park City, and everywhere in between, that they may be moving here to our community. They have a huge or large cellar, and maybe it's just for a temporary period of time. Maybe they have their wine here in Deer Valley, but they're only in the house for 3 months out of the year, and they don't want to keep everything behind lock and key. They can throw it over to this facility.
Okay.
Interesting.
Temperature control.
Here's another text question. Now, this is an odd one. I've never heard this before. I use vodka in place of starch for ironing my quilting projects. What is the starchiest vodka on a budget?
So I would think potato. A potato-based vodka.
What's it
An
called?
Idaho brand.
And that's
I think there is one.
No, yeah, you would. That'll have all the. There's not going to be any more carbohydrate left in the product. But so playfully, I think it would be potato. I would start there. But I've heard that before. You do a little mist. The little mister,
and
then
spray
you
bottle.
So this is a thing.
I have heard of this as well.
I've not heard of
When
this.
you're doing your ironing, instead of water, distilled water, you use vodka.
But Bill, you're supposed to not spray it in your mouth and just
that's the whole
forget
thing,
to
right?
iron. And my clothes are wrinkled.
A spray for the shirt collar and a spray for my mouth.
One for you, one for me.
I'm making lamb on Sunday. Wanted to ask Jimmy what red wine I should use to make a red wine sauce.
Oh, the same wine that you'll drink with the dish, Côte de Rhône. Red is excellent. It's a blend of Syrah, Grenache, Mourvedre, things like that. If you want to get, we also call those GSMs. If you were to get a GSM, Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre out of Australia, you're going to get a little new oak in there, and you really want the lamb to come out. So I always like recommending Southern Rhone. Really great balance. The wine it is a little higher in alcohol, about 14.2, 14.5. Wines on average are 13.5. So that's my go-to red with lamb for sure.
I bought a bottle of non-alcoholic grape drink made in Italy and sold at Costco, and they still ID'd me. Why do they card non-alcoholic beer and wine? I've seen this.
They do. Yeah, they even here at Harmon's or Smith's or something like that. It's just one more layer of control. You don't. And the interesting thing is, I asked when I purchased some Athletic Brewing beer, and it was with my son. I showed my ID. It was non-alcoholic beer. And I said, do I have to be over 21 to buy this? And this was like in the self-checkout, and the gal didn't know. She's like, oh, I don't know. We just required the ID.
I think you do have to be over 21.
So
That's
maybe,
crazy.
and I should know. So I'm going to find out.
Well, do they get complete rid of the alcohol content, or just does it get to such low levels?
That's a
that
good
maybe
question.
you can
It's
get away
like a
with saying
0.05 of a percent. So perhaps that's, but you can buy bitters without being ID'd, and it's got trace amounts of alcohol.
Some places put the Listerine. They won't put the Listerine out on the shelves because people come in and steal it and drink it.
Yeah,
because there is alcohol in it.
Let's see. Here we go. Jimmy, I've gotten into bourbons the last few years.
Well, who hasn't?
Good.
I want to try infusing it with something. Any recommendations?
Yeah.
Because I do that with vodka all the time.
Right. And when you infuse, Carrie, do you put it right in the bottle, like in the bottle?
What
of
I'll
the
do
booze?
is like with vodka, I'll cut up fruit, usually pineapple,
Nice.
and put it in a jar.
Right.
And then
so you
dump the
transfer
vodka.
it into the.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you do that. So you get a mason jar with that self-closed lid, the rubber gasket, so it's a really nice tight fit. Or I guess you can get the screw top. I just like those big hinges because they're using a lot. The answer, mint. Do a little mint. Do a little mint in there. You can also do maybe a citrus. So with bourbon, it's already rich. It's already vanilla. It's already caramelly. So by adding an extract or acid, such as peels of grapefruit or grapefruit
tangerine,
segments
like I
or
have here.
tangerine, you got some tangerine, so that orange angle. So, but I would love to do a little mint in there, and it really just gives it this heightened, this higher tone note.
Now, I read a really interesting little article yesterday, Jim, and I think we've talked about this before. It says, my grandmother ate 7 or 9 golden raisins soaked in gin every day before she went to bed, and she said that's kept the arthritis away. And the way they said they did it, so it's got to be golden raisins, the sultanas.
Yep.
And you put them in a jar, you cover them with gin, and put a piece of cheesecloth over it, and let the gin kind of evaporate out, so that it soaks into the raisins.
Right.
And then you eat 7
Yeah, you're
or 8.
marinating them.
Yeah.
My Nana did that. She did that. Yeah. Well, she had a little old medicine container, filled it with the golden raisins, the California white raisins, golden raisins. So
So you got event coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, I got an event tomorrow. I'll make it quick. Saturday at 3 p.m. Literary Libations at Ken Sanders Rare Books, featuring a deep dive discussion of Wendell Berry. You'll receive a sparkling wine upon arrival, charcuterie and beverage paired with the works of Wendell.
Where do you buy a ticket?
Go right to wineacademyofutah.com or go to Ken Sanders Books.
WineAcademyofUtah.com.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Happy
Don't get
Easter.
out of here. I'm going to get a picture with my tracksuit.
You got it.